Sangeeta. Acha, you are Sangeeta. Shanmuga Priya. Okay. Kamal Nandani. Acha. Vijay Raghavan. Yog Lakshmi. Acha. Sweetie. Sweetie. Acha. You are focused. You will take care of all this, right? But it is what you consider is the center, Most of the time, where do you spend your effort and time? Before you started with UHV, where were you? 6, right? 6, 5, yes. Now you are getting promoted, huh? Yes. Huh? So sometime looking for feeling from others, sometime trying to ensure the right feeling in oneself. Yes, good. This is Sweetie, right? Yes. Anybody else? Yes. 3? 3B. Ranging from 4 to 2A. So lot of range now. Yes. Eh? 3A. Yeah, but whatever it is, you tell me where you are centered. Trying to touch 3A. Yes. Yes, yes. Janani wants to share something. Yes.
I am not bothered about physical facility, body, nothing. Always I used to feel from other only. Other, that fellow said this, grudge immediately. Okay, like a snake which keeps grudge. Now I decided, don't feel for anyone, anything. Feel for me, feel for within. So that's what I was telling to Umesh Bhaiya. Yesterday I told my husband, I'm not going to talk to any one of you here afterwards too much in home. Politely I will reply. You listen or don't listen, leave it, no problem. He said, that's what I said 1.5 years before. I will buy one dandam. Now you are also ready. So you bring one stick. We go together as saint.
Yes.
Even if I fight with you, if you feel from within, I also feel from within. We both become saint together.
Stick. Yes. Agast. Agast Rishi. Huh? Yeah. Anybody else?
Bhaiya, 3A Bhaiya.
3A.
Feelings from within. From inner self, there is a lot of struggle. Assumptions, preconditioning, that is also driving. That also I can see. So it's fluctuating from 3A, but now definitely at 3. This physical sensation is somewhere, but still the fluctuation is going down at some instant. Sensation, I cannot say totally I have avoided. Now also there is, if I like this, get this blue color, I will jump and see it's blue color. That is there. But it's lessened than before. But all the stages are there. It's going up and down. But we can say one is dominating now and one is little subtler now at some point. Very next moment, it is fluctuating. That difference is there that we could see. Physical facilities almost, but I couldn't say that totally. I'm not. One moment it is going there and coming back. That moment it's traveling outside, connecting to the facility. The next moment connect to it. Is it really required? No need, come back. It's going and coming back. So that is happening.
Yeah, so ultimately we will take care of all of them, but the question is which is at the center of our being. Okay? So, of course, if I am associated with a body, I will take care of the body, right? I will nurture the body, protect the body, do all that. And if I have to nurture the body, I need some physical facility, so I have to take care of the physical facility also. But is that all which is my focus, or what is the focus? And this is a part of it, As and when necessary, I take care of the body, as and when necessary, I take care of the physical facility, right? But that is not at the center of my being. Yes, so you will keep paying attention to all of them, but which is the center, that we have to decide. And what you are saying now is that it is fluctuating between 3B, 3A, and up. Yes. Anybody else? Yeah, that's this lecture 15, that is what we want to discuss. But before that, let us see any response. Dinesh ji? Yes. Huh? 3 and 2. In 2 where? 2C, 2B, 2A? 2C, yes. Yeah. So, if we look at our progress, before we get through this UHV, most of us think, and that is how the whole education today, and the society today is geared up, is that all that matters is physical facility and the body, right? That is the core focus, Most of the time you are thinking of it, most of the time you are worried about it, right? And you think that if physical facility is there enough, everything will be taken care of. If my body is healthy, everything is taken care of, and that is it. As long as you don't have physical facility, you think it will solve the problem. When you have physical facility, then you realize that it is not solving the problem, right. Similarly, if you don't have a healthy body, you think if the body becomes healthy, it will be all right. You know, when you become healthy, you know, your body becomes healthy, you fight with that healthy body, you know, with others, isn't it. Then going through UHV 1, you realize that this is important, necessary, but this itself is not enough, right. In fact, when it comes to human being is not just the body and its needs are not just the physical facility, but human being is coexistence of self and body, right. And therefore, the need of the self as well as the need of the body are important. So, physical facility and body are important, but it is the self whose need is to ensure happiness and continuity of happiness. That need is of more importance than the physical facility alone. When you realize that, and then you try to trace where this happiness is from, how do we get happiness? Then one solution is sensation. So, your source of happiness would have been sensation, you know, sensation from through the body which comes in contact with some physical facility outside. So, there is some sensation in the body, and when you happen to like that sensation, you feel happy, right. Tasty food, you know, music of your liking, you know, visiting, you know, different places, sites. So, all these are the source of happiness, that is what you think, right, which essentially boils down to getting the favorable sensation. That is clear, isn't it? Once in a year you have to go to some place, you know, which is that place? You think that if you go and see those sights, okay, that will give you a sensation which will make you happy, right? Yes. So, you go with the family, all the way you keep fighting, okay. And then you reach there, stay there, see those things, and then you keep fighting there also, and then come back, you know. So, that sensation becomes this center of your being. So, when you realize that sensation is important, but this feeling is important. So, when we take this example that you are sitting in an air conditioned room, right, the room is 21 degree centigrade, but the person with whom you are sitting, you have a feeling of opposition. What will happen? Unhappiness, right. So, sensation enough is not important, feeling is also important, right. With UHV 2 this much is clear to you, isn't it? Yes. So, this feeling is important, and in feeling also there are two parts. One is getting the feeling from the other, one is ensuring right feeling in oneself. You can see the difference between the two. I am expecting right feeling from the other, so you all must respect me, right. This is trying to get the feeling from the other, okay. I must have right feeling for all of you. This is feeling from within. What is the difference, major difference between these two? if I am dependent on my on the feeling from the other for my happiness, what is the problem? Eh? Yeah. I cannot ensure the continuity of
Continuity of
happiness because it depends on the other. I have to keep begging from you, right? Enslavement. Huh? That's what he said, yes. Enslavement. And whatever I do for you, sometime you might get angry, sometime you may get, kind of unhappy with me, and no respect therefore, and then I am in trouble. Only when I can ensure this feeling from within, okay, I am safe. I can ensure the continuity of it. Clear? Okay. Then when you start thinking of feeling from within, you start paying attention to the self, right? So now self has become important, okay? Because where is that feeling from within? In the self. So self is important. Now we are trying to investigate into self, that at the level of self where I am, what are the possibilities?
Bhaiya,
So if
is
you
this
look at
feeling?
the discussion of what has gone in last 4 days, we are trying to explore into that. Okay. This self has these 5 levels of activity. Broadly speaking, there is B2, that is imagination part, and then B1, which is understanding part. Okay. Now the question is, if you are focusing at the level of self, are you focusing at the level of imagination or focusing higher than that? What is higher we will talk about. Okay. So even when you are looking at this self, focusing at this self, you may be focusing at the level of imagination, at the level of desire, thought, expectation, at the level of feeling, at the level of thought. Right?
Bhaiya, is this 3A feeling from within? Is it, am I expecting to have a right feeling within me? Is it right? I am expecting within myself to have a right feeling,
Yeah, either I am expecting or I am trying to ensure.
trying to ensure.
Either way you can. Yes, up to this 2C it is fine. Everything is clear or any doubt about it? Let us see. So lot of progress, from 6 you have moved to 5 to 4 to 3B to 3A and now to C.
Sir. Sir.
Can you see that this progress
Excuse
in
me.
yourself?
Sir.
Yes.
So far, we associated feelings to relationship, human relationship only, no, sir? But now it is human being and rest of nature. It is written human being and rest of nature. So far, in all the other diagrams, UHV2 diagrams, we were talking about feelings in human relationships only. So all those feelings are there between human being and rest of nature.
The feeling of relationship with every unit in nature, in existence. In case of human being, those details are there, those 9 feelings are there in case of my relationship with the human being. With others, the major issue is that I have a feeling of relationship. And when I have this feeling of relationship for any unit which is not consciousness, then in order to fulfill that relationship, 3 things I have to do: nurture that unit, protect that unit, and ensure right utilization of that unit. unit. That will be the expression of that feeling.
So this includes human also.
Yeah, human as well as the rest of nature. With human being and rest of nature we have said.
Yeah, Ganesh ji,
Yes.
here. 3A and 2C. In 3A, we have feelings from within, in self, from inside. And 2C is imagination. There also we have feeling that is from within. What is the difference between this feeling in 3A and feeling in the imagination part? Why do we keep it separate?
They are kept separate because when you say feeling within, the reference is the other person. 3C, 3A,
3A.
this is talking in reference to the other person or other unit. The same feeling, now you are looking at it from the reference of the self. Because this 3A is ultimately going to be in self only, right? So that is 2C only. Okay? But now the reference is not the other. Now the reference is the feeling in me. And this is interesting, you will slowly realize what Kumarji was saying in the morning. When you start looking at relationship, you start thinking in terms of your feeling with respect to your mother, to your father, to your friend, right? That's how you start. Then slowly you realize that this is an issue of having the feeling of relationship or not having the feeling of relationship in the self, irregardless of who the other is. Right. Now this other is not important. What is important is that if I understand that existence is by way of relationship, then I have feeling of relationship with everyone, whosoever he is. Whether I have met him or not met him, whether I have thought of him or not thought of him. Right? So that feeling of relationship for all, what we call as love, that feeling of relationship for all is here, 2C. Now that other person is not, going to play the central role. What is playing central role is my feeling in me, which is based on my understanding. We will come to that now up, when you go up, that feeling born by your understanding. Okay. It's clear? Yes, Lipika ji. Mike. Huh? Yeah, let me understand, otherwise I will miss. Yes. Yes.
I missed what you explained just now. 3A I missed. I understood 2C.
Yeah. I said that when you say feeling from within, normally you have reference of someone, outside, about whom you have the feeling. Ultimately, when you talk about the feeling in the self, the feeling has to be in the self, right? It may be about the other. Ultimately, we have to reach to a situation where I have the right feeling in me, irregardless of who the other is. That shift has to take place. So it is a matter of feeling in me. So the other is not really the central role, It is me and the feeling in me which is playing the central role. I have to have the right feeling in me, in continuity, for everyone, irregardless of who the other is. Yeah, 3A ultimately is resting where? In the self, in 2C only. When you say feeling from the within, where will it be? In the self, in the imagination of the self. But focus now is not the other. When you are here, 3A, 3B, the focus is generally the other. When you are in 2, the focus is now the self.
So the feeling of love is at 2C. The feeling of love is at 2C.
As?
The feeling of love, that is at 2C.
Yes. 2C based on 2A, that we are coming to. If I want to ensure that in 2C, then I have to be centered at 2A.
Sir, sir, we are just eager. You are in which level, sir?
I am focused on 2, fluctuating between 2C to 2B to 2A, and trying to be at 1. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
We will see what is the meaning of it, 65. Yes, yes. You will be there earlier than me. Okay. This much is fine? Okay. Now, if you start looking deeper than 2C, then the next question is that the feeling that you have at this moment, who decided it? Remember? Step 5. Step 4. Step 4, we are asking who is deciding the feeling that I have at this moment? Myself. And on what basis? On the basis of preconditioning, or on the basis of my assumption, right, about that particular reality. वापस नहीं जा सकते इसमें? हाँ, ओके.
Bhaiya, I have one doubt, Bhaiya.
या
You were telling a feeling from within.
मुझे वो एक्सरसाइज वो चाहिए 5, 1.5, 4 and 5. जी.
Yeah, எனக்கு view problem இருக்கு. Okay. You told that feeling from within, even if we feel correctly from within, it will be guided by desire, thought and expectations. My question is, suppose I enter into contemplation and then go to realization, super bliss level. So is there any possibility of that feeling from within not to be guided by desire, thought and expectation? Is there any case where the block B2 is cut off from B1?
See,
You will be in the
contemplation-
Atma Yogi, you say, like that state. No, I wish to know that.
No, no, it
Even
is okay.
do they have desire, thought and expectations? Even at life also some yogis are there. Without family also some yogis are there. But yeah, in your experience,
Yeah. When you say contemplation, it essentially means, when you say contemplation, it essentially means I am able to see my relationship with other units and ultimately with all the units in existence. That is the meaning of contemplation.
Bhaiya,
So if I am in a state of contemplation, whether I am going up to the realization or coming down from the realization, in either case that feeling is there. When I am coming down from the realization, that feeling of relationship is there for everyone, whether he is a yogi or a sannyasi or a grihast, whoever he is. That feeling of relationship will be there. Now, when it comes to imagination, am I expanding that feeling that is there in me to express with the other? So when I decide to express with the other, then I have to operate all this, my thought and my expectation. If I decide that I don't have to express it now with any particular unit, then I may keep it silent. That choice is there with me. Right? But whenever I think of expressing, I will have to operate my imagination. So it's like a tool to express my feeling with others, to share my feeling with others. So if I am operating at B1, then I have that choice, whether to express, not to express. When I have to express, I will use this B2 as an effective tool. If I think I don't have to express, I have to be with me, then I may decide not to, operate at the level of B2. That choice is always there. But on the other hand, if I have the feeling for everyone and I am in a state of harmony and happiness with that feeling, I may as well express it to everyone. What is the problem? That expressing is not a problem. Without understanding, without ensuring the right feeling, if I am trying to interact, then I am in trouble, or I am likely to be in trouble. But if I am already having that understanding and the feeling in continuity, I am already in a state of harmony and happiness. Then what will I do? I will keep expressing it. So I will use my imagination in a right manner. But that choice is there, to use or not to use.
Bhaiya, Bhaiya, Bhaiya,
Yes, this side.
can we say like 2C is, 3A is imaging and 2C is contemplation?
2,
2C is contemplation and 3A is imaging.
3A.
3A is like feeling from within myself, na? That is imaging. And 2C is imagination, that is a feeling, desire, that thing.
Yeah.
3A can we say as a imagine and 2C can we say as a contemplation?
2C. 2C is outcome, this right feeling in continuity is outcome of the contemplation.
Okay.
And this 3A, you are generally expressing it with others. So it is, imaging or desire. Yeah.
Now you said expression is important, Abhaya, but now we able to see all we are expressing now, maximum it is not having a right understanding. Now lot of assumptions has been transferred. In this stage, what you recommend? Like now the expression you said it's important, no? Expression with other. But now we know that we already have lot of assumptions now within conditions now. Now we are not with the complete right understanding. So is it, there is lot of check in this expression.
That is why many times, many people in the history, they thought that let us not continue with this kind of expression where things are not clear. Okay, let us hold on for the time being, right? And let us work on myself first. We thought that they left the world and ran away. No. But this concern that if I am not confident that what I am expressing outside is worth, okay, then it may be an important decision, that okay, I will hold on for the time being, work on myself, set things in order, then I will express.
Take lots and lots of years.
But it is worth. But what we are saying is simple. We are saying that all this can be done through the process of education. And if it is introduced to the children in time, we are already giving 20 years of education, right? So this may be possible in those 20 years, isn't it? So you don't have to run away and go somewhere else, in isolation and do.
Even with my students, I need to express this, communicate this content, no? So previously we were so confident even giving some wrong information. But now that like little worry is there, like we shouldn't transfer some wrong assumptions at least. So that.
Yeah, the safety we have ensured in this is that we are not asking the other to believe, accept it as true. We are saying that here is a set of proposal, you explore within and you find out for yourself. So if they explore and they find that it is making sense, they will accept it, otherwise they will reject it. There was a lot of discussion about this, whether we should start teaching before we understand it completely or not. We said go with and share with the students as co-explorer. Don't tell them that you are reached to the realization and we are going to preach now. Okay. Let us explore. It is something sounding meaningful, so we'll explore together.
Yeah, if we say that we have reached, they will show us where we are.
Yes. नहीं वो दीजिए हाँ हाँ बताइए ना हाँ अच्छा ठीक है 2C. It has to be ultimately, it may not be.
What is the difference between this 3A and 2C?
3A focus is on the other, so that is imaging part mainly. 2C, it is the feeling in me.
Okay. Say that again. 3A is
3A is the expression part of this activity of imaging. The state activity is the feeling.
not clear.
I'll come to that.
Ganeshji, I have a question. This 3A is, as we say, as an expression or relationship with others. So before that, we should have that feeling within ourselves, right? So in that case, the 2C should actually have to be before we can have this 3A, which is an expression, isn't it?
Yes. And even you have to go beyond that 2C to 2B and 2A. Then you can ensure that 2C is in order.
Okay.
You have the right feeling in you. I was coming to that.
Okay.
राजू भाई उस पे आ सकते हैं जो 6, 5 and 4 and 5. Remember this preconditioning, assumption, acceptance, sanskar, this word. अच्छा ठीक है, 4 नंबर रहने दीजिए इसको भी. Who decides the feeling, the thought I have at this moment? Some external physical conditions, some other human being, or I decide it myself? Is this clear to everyone? Okay, so I am not going to spend time on that. Or if there is any doubt, you can ask. The feeling that I have at this moment in me is decided by me. Is that clear? Okay, very fine. Big achievement. Yes, we can go to step 5. Eh? Step 5, we see that this decision about the feeling for any particular reality, for example a human being, is on the basis of our understanding of that reality, or in the absence of the understanding our assumption about it. This essentially means that it is based on natural acceptance or our assumption about that reality. Natural acceptance is rooted in these 3 higher activities of the self, that is contemplation, understanding and realization. So, step 5 we are trying to explore how do we decide. Once it is clear that I decide for the feeling, what is the basis? The basis is the assumption that I have about that reality. That is clear to you? Okay. For example, if I presume or I have this assumption that there is a struggle for survival and survival of the fittest, if this assumption is there in me, what do you think? When I think of a human being, what feeling will I have? Feeling of relationship, feeling of opposition. So, that assumption which is giving rise to the feeling is what we are calling as sanskar. Right? This assumption that I have about a reality, that is called sanskar. Good sanskar, bad sanskar you say, right? That assumption is your sanskar. If your sanskar has gone wrong, your assumption has gone wrong, your feeling will go wrong. Is that clear? Yes. So, if you have started looking at your sanskar, your preconditioning, your assumption, your acceptance, your sanskar, then you are in 2B. And you can see that the sanskar are subtler than the imagination. So, now if you continue paying attention to yourself, you will be able to slowly see your sanskar, your assumptions, which are giving rise to these feelings. Sanskar is? No, sanskar may be based on your right understanding, or it may be based on assumption which is not based on right understanding. That is where you might go wrong. So, now you are at 2B, and then what do I do? Now, the question is that okay, I have some assumption sitting in me, okay, which may be right, which may be wrong. So, I am stuck there. How do I get out of this? What is next? Yeah. So, higher than this assumption is my pure observer. My natural acceptance is an expression of that being at the level of pure observer. At the level of pure observer, I can see what is right, what is not right. And that pure observer is there in each one of us. We do not have to borrow it from anyone. So, we are all gifted with it, right? We are all endowed with this potential of pure observer. Only thing is that we have not decided to be there. We have decided to be where lower activities of the self. So that choice is there where you want to be. These 5 layers of activities are there, and you have the choice to be at any of these levels. That is what is your level of consciousness. So as long as you are up to the level of your preconditioning or assumption or sanskar, you may be right, you may be wrong. Only when you move up to the level of pure observer, then you can be sure that you can be always right. That shift has to take place ultimately, right? And this pure observer is there in each one of us. One way to access it is asking this natural acceptance, What is your natural acceptance? Interestingly, you may have feeling of opposition for 100 people, right? But if you ask what is naturally acceptable to you, feeling of relationship or feeling of opposition? Relationship. Who is giving this answer? Myself. From where? From that pure observer, So that pure observer is there in me all the time. Only thing is that I am not referring to it. That pure observer is there all the time. Only thing is I am not referring to it. Now slowly we have started referring to it. What we are doing? We are slowly referring to, or we have started referring to our own natural acceptance, which is all the time there. Which is all the time there. You don't have to create it. It is there all the time. You have to only start paying attention to it. So that is what we are doing, right from the first session, if you remember, we start asking, what is your natural acceptance? Right? And you ask yourself and you get the answer. You get the answer because that answer is already there in you. Previously you were not asking this question to yourself, so you were not getting the right answer. Now you have started asking the question to yourself and you are getting the right answer. That right answer was always there. You already knew what is naturally acceptable to you, but you were not asking this question. So now you are asking this question to yourself, what is naturally acceptable to me? And when you ask this question to yourself, you get the answer. You get the answer because that answer is already there in you. So this pure observer is always there. Okay? Only thing is that we don't refer to it. So what we are trying to do is trying to help you to start referring to your natural acceptance, start referring to your pure observer. And that is the place where you are always right. You always get the right answer. So if that can be the center of your being, that 2A, then you are at the right place, at the safe place. Right? Can we get back to that? So this is the safe place. That is why this S3 is marked here. As long as you are operating at 2C and 2B, still there is risk. You may be right, you may be wrong. Right? only when you are at the level of pure observer, so just gone beyond S3, then you are safe and sound. From there you can see what is right and what is not right. And when you see what is right and what is not right, right, then you can always decide in favor of what is right. And therefore you can be always in harmony and happiness there. So that continuity of happiness ultimately is ensured there at the level of 2A, and if that 2A becomes the guidance of 2B and 2C, then they also start falling in place, they start falling in harmony. Okay. So if you now look back and see what is the meaning of self-exploration, okay, we are saying take any proposal, ask what is naturally acceptable to you. If this proposal is in accordance with what is naturally acceptable to you, it is a right proposal, otherwise it is not a right proposal. So what we are saying essentially, be at the level of pure observer, where you can see your natural acceptance, where you can have the right understanding. From there look down and evaluate this proposal. Similarly, if you look at exercise 1, step 1, 2, 3. Step 1 we are saying be aware. Be aware, observe your imagination, particularly observe your feeling without any reaction. So 3 conditions: 1, I am aware; 2, I am observing the imagination, so I am above this imagination, and I am not reacting. This not reacting is a very strong condition. Not reacting can happen only when you are at the level of pure observer. If you are little below at the level of your assumption, then you might react. So step 1 itself we are saying be at the level of pure observer. From pure observer, observe your imagination, observe your feelings. And then step 2 and 3 we are saying ask whether this feeling is naturally acceptable to you, not naturally acceptable to you. So from observer you look at it and see whether it is a right feeling, not right feeling. Then find out whether it is leading to harmony and happiness or not leading to harmony and happiness. So the whole exercise 1 is ultimately being at the level of pure observer every moment. From there looking down, observing the imagination, evaluating the imagination, observing the feeling, evaluating the feeling. And if I do only this much, my feelings start getting purified. If it is a right feeling, it will have continuity. If it is a wrong feeling, it will start dropping down. I don't have to fight with it. I only have to observe and evaluate. That itself is enough to purify my feelings. Is it making sense? Or I am telling you some story? Yes. So interesting thing is that even within this self, this range is there, 2C, 2B, 2A, or in 2C there are 3 things, the desire, thought, expectation, 3 levels. So altogether there are 5 levels. And all these possibilities are there in you, you have to make the choice. Unfortunately, most of us and the whole civilization today has made a choice to be at the lowest level of expectation. lowest level of testing and selecting. The whole civilization today is focused on selecting and testing. For example, you are making good air conditions, right, with your science and technology. But ultimately, what is the achievement of it? I have made so much of effort to develop an air conditioner, right? The principle of air conditioner, then mechanics of air conditioner, and then I manufactured air conditioner, right? Then constructed room, fit those air conditioners, then electricity, whole lot of generating electricity, transmitting electricity and all that. And now this electricity is in this air conditioner is working. Now what is the achievement of all this? The achievement is that I am getting some favorable sensation. That's all, right? Instead of getting some hot sensation, I am getting now some cold sensation. Anything more? Yes.
Right
yeah, but
now
what is
it's
this
working.
human resource?
That as we are developing, sir, we are getting the opportunity to sit over here and listen carefully. Don't you think it's an aid to development?
Yeah, but that is what I am saying, that the focus is only on air condition or focus is on talking meaningful things.
Meaningful things.
Eh? No, I am just saying that what is the focus? Is the focus that we try to sit together and explore into higher possibilities of human being? Is that part of the syllabus? That is important, right? So if we have good AC rooms and we can sit and talk meaningful things, it is helpful. But if we have an air conditioned room, we sit and plan how to attack on the other country or how to exploit the other country, then not good. So you have to talk about physical facility, but that cannot be the center of your being.
Sir, since...
I keep telling this example. Who is that?
Sir, since we are talking about development, I wish to share you an incident. Supraja, don't mind, I am taking you as an example here. When Supraja is doing here BE Computer Science and Engineering, actually she studied in a college which is very strict environment. Adiparashakti. There was rules and regulations like you should not wear big stud, big bangles and all, that and all you should not wear. But she is very fond of accessories and costumes. And what she will do is she will wear and come. But whenever our managing director is coming rounds, at that time, before he comes, his secretary will first come for rounds. Once when one day I was taking class, suddenly she took everything, she removed everything and kept and she was sitting silently. What's happening? Why suddenly she is doing like this, I was saying. Then I watched that person, MD secretary was going around the rounds actually. Then I understood why she did like that. And after everybody gone, class was over, I was asking you, what you did, Supraja? Then after he went off, MD finished his rounds, again she took everything from the bag and again she wore everything. That too, what will you do, she won't wear any bangles or bracelets such that to remove like this. It will be like this type, immediately removing. Similarly, stud also like that, immediately removing. So like that, she's very fond of costumes, accessories, and everything. And even she's having a friends gang. They used to comment after the class, we will be preparing for 2 to 3 hours, we will go and we will take class very effectively, and we will expect a feedback of, ma'am, you have taught well, we have understood everything today. We will expect such type of feedback. But these girls, what they will do, ma'am, today your costume is nice. Ma'am, today you don't look nice. They will comment like that. So she is such very naughty, but very positive energy is with her. When you talk to 2 to 3 minutes to her, even if you are in a bad mood, you will be converted to a good mood actually. So such a girl she is. But for the past 1 year, I was seeing her. She's not at all concentrating on her accessories or any of her costumes. I was really wondering on seeing her development. So this is a very big, either I get transformed or not, I don't know, but very fast transformation is there with Supraja. I can see that. Really, I didn't expect that from her. And she yesterday said, while asking some doubt to you, she said, I thought of going out of my home, I want to search something like that, she said. So even that words are really, it's unbelievable for me, because she is very pampering child for her father, and even she is a pampering wife for her husband also. Okay. So I was really wondering how she's talking like this. She had changed like something. So I wish to say, Supraja, don't do that and all, because still Sasi is loving you so much. You have to be with him forever. They are loving from school days onwards. Right, so she has to be with her husband, but she can realize herself along with him, right?
Yeah,
But
so
even I want to say thanks to her also. Today, if the reason for I'm sitting here in UHV3 is purely because of her, because my HOD didn't permit me to attend this. But anyway, she called and convinced ma'am, and then ma'am gave permission, and we are here. So thank you so much for that.
Bhaiya, this also the part of my expectation. I was expecting when Purnima ma'am will say something good about me. Because as she showed, I was a very naughtiest one in the college, so she used to scold me a lot. 3 semesters she took class for me. All 3 semesters I was... all three semesters, I used to get 18 internals only in her class. Because she is very strict, but she makes sure that content is all delivered. But I was like, when Purnima ma'am will like me, because she used to scold me for all my naughtiness. But today I'm so happy that...
I didn't like you, I love you so much now.
Thank you.
yeah, I will respond to her before we move. She is not focused on her accessories now. She is focused on herself, right? That is the shift. Till now we thought I am the body, I am these accessories, no? So you are focusing on that. But when you realize you are not these accessories, you are not this body, but this self. And there also, when you realize that you are the pure observer, your focus will shift there. So that is what is happening, I expect, right? Yes. Yeah, you wanted to say something, but you have to be very brief.
About her.
We are left with some 20 minutes.
I used to be in the reception committee for convocation, usually. Okay. One fine day, she came. The parade is ready. That was with Vice Chancellor, Chancellor. Everybody is ready. The chief guest is also there. At that time, one minister is there. She came to that reception table. She's asking me, ma'am, I want to take a selfie with Chancellor. We ourselves are like something. She's asking me, ma'am, I want to take a selfie with Chancellor. Please hide me. She has taken a selfie with the Chancellor at that point. We guys are... Huh? It's true, no?
Yes.
I thought they will throw me out of SRM, but I can always...
She has that was at that time. At that time only she got that AICT Best Faculty Award also. At that time only I was introduced to her through NSS. She used to come for the tree plantations and all those things. Like ma'am said, I used to see her regularly with that programs and all. She used to wear all her accessories that we can admire. I am one of her admirer. After coming here, I saw her the total transformation. Yes.
Good.
You just
So
think of
before I
the
proceed,
ma'am, just you think of the convocation parade.
so you have the choice to be at 2A, 2B or 2C or even to be at 6, right? That choice is always there. I will start with lecture 15, but before that let me conclude this with one example. The example is very simple. The example is that one person had a fight with the wife, which is common, right? And this wife chased him, with that balloon. What is called balloon in English? Yeah, rolling pin. And this man ran and went inside the bed, underneath the bed. And this wife was very fat, so she couldn't go into the beneath. Then she shouted, "Come out and I will show you, And he says, "I am the owner of this house. I will be where I want to be." So you are the owner of the house. You can be at 2C, 2B, 2A, right? Wherever you want to be. That choice you have to make, right? Our recommendation is that if you want continuity of happiness, the choice is that you have to be at 2A, right? So with that, let me just get to this 15. Yeah, can you put that? It is already there, I think. No? Yeah, possible sources of happiness. There are 3 possible sources. The important conclusion of this investigation has been the following: happiness and its continuity is ensured by right understanding, right feeling and right thought in the self. This is depicted systematically in the diagram of activities of the self, which we have been studying in the last few sessions. We are recalling them for ready reference. So ultimately, the continuous source of happiness is ensured by right understanding and right feeling. Okay? And this right understanding ultimately is founded on this realization of coexistence. Okay? Realization of coexistence is what is at the center of this right understanding. And out of this right understanding, I can have right feeling, right thought, and ultimately be in a state of continuous happiness. Right? All these details we have already seen, so I am not going to those details. Let us make some observation about what we are able to deduce. Awakening to the higher activities of the self, we are able to see relationship in this nature, in this existence. Under the guidance of this, our desire and thought are in line with relationship, harmony and coexistence every moment. This ensures the self is in harmony within and therefore in a state of happiness every moment in continuity. This state of harmony at different levels of activities of the self is felt as bliss, satisfaction, peace, happiness. All these have been described, so I am not describing them. When we say continuous happiness, it includes all this, The bliss, the satisfaction, the peace, the happiness is all included in that continuous happiness. So understanding, feeling and thought of relationship, harmony and coexistence leads to a state of continuous happiness. Right understanding, right feeling and right thought ensures continuous happiness. So, this is the source of continuous happiness, right. This ultimately is the source. Right understanding, which is understanding the harmony at all levels of my being in the self, right feeling in the self, that is the source of continuous happiness. What we have been trying, however, when we look at what we have been doing to get happiness, we have tried many possibilities. We will now try to look at some of them for comparative study. Source of that we thought was these two: right feeling from others and sensation through body. This we thought was the source of happiness, isn't it? Right feeling from others, sensation through the body. This is your 3B, right? This is your 4, sensation. Now, with all the exploration, what is your understanding of things? What is going to be the source of continuous happiness? This, or this? This is your source of happiness. This has been the source of happiness, right? Yes, but they can only be source of temporary happiness. Yes, excitement. This can be the real source of happiness, right? Source of continuous happiness. Is that clear? At least we should be clear where to look at. We might not have achieved it, but we know where to look at it, where to search for it. Beneath that bed or somewhere else, right? And if I take care of this order properly, that if this becomes the source of continuous happiness for me, then in the light of this, I can place this feeling from the other, the sensation also in place, right. So, if you look at that, this is how it looks like. Right feeling, right understanding in this self, for happiness in this self, and it has definite completion point. Right feeling in this self, for happiness in this self, and it has definite completion point. I can ensure this completion, right. Now, in the light of these two, where I have ensured continuity of happiness in me, now when I look at the feeling from the other, this is for evaluating the state of the other self. This is about evaluating the state of the other self and to identify complementarity in relationship. So, if somebody is shouting at me, right, I can evaluate his state of being. I can see that he is in trouble. Otherwise, what happens? I feel that he is insulting me, isn't it? And I become unhappy. When I am in having right understanding and right feeling, I am in harmony within, I am in a state of happiness, and when I look at that person shouting at me, I am using this to evaluate the state of the other person, right? I can see that he is in trouble, he is not comfortable with himself, right? And when I evaluate this, I decide how to be complementary in my relationship, how to take care of that condition, of him.
Bhaiya, is it previously it was my feeling towards the other, the feeling of jealousy, feeling of other. Now I am seeing through the right feeling. That's the shift, na? My feeling
So
is...
when I am seeing through the right feeling, then instead of focusing on his feeling or her feeling, now I am focusing on his or her condition, which is giving rise to that kind of feeling.
Okay, okay.
So it is not that he is talking about me, he is rather talking about himself. Isn't it? So when you start asking question, right, I listen to the question, and first thing I extract about it is that what is the reality that you are talking about, number one. Number two, what do you know about that reality already? Right? These two things I conclude, whatever you are talking, in whatever way. But this I can conclude. From there, then when you ask question, it tells me what you do not know about that reality. If I am clear about all that, it is very simple for me to answer. What do? I recall that reality and confirm that yes, you are talking about this reality. Then I confirm that you already know this much about this reality, right? Then I draw your attention to those part of the reality which you have not seen, and that is the answer.
So that's why you're feeling so easy, so many assumptions we put in front of you, you talking only about the reality.
Yeah, because half of the answer you have already given.
Yeah.
Okay, so I only have to draw your attention to the remaining part of the reality, and when you are able to see, you get the answer.
Understood.
So this part is for evaluating the state of the other and to identify the complementarity in relationship. So every time you are expressing, I am deciding my complementarity with you, how I can help you to get the answer to your question, right? Third, sensation and physical facility through body. For evaluating the state of the physical facility, to identify if it is okay for nurturing protection of the body, the health of the body, for behavior and work, and for sharing knowledge and feeling. Now all these things are important. We don't have to run away from home or from physical facility or from body. All of them can now be placed properly in the light of this right understanding, right feeling, and in the light of my being in a state of continuous happiness. Right? So you do not have to worry, she will not run away. Okay. With this realization, she will be able to behave and work with more responsibility and better clarity. So that is what is going to happen with right understanding and right feeling. Can I give that assurance from your side? Yes. Completion point means I want to ensure this continuity, of feeling, right feeling, for example, here. I can ensure this continuity in me. I can have the feeling of relationship, feeling of love for everyone. It is definite, right? But if I want to ensure this getting feeling from you, I cannot ensure the continuity. Isn't it? From my side, that completion point is there. When it comes from your side, now it is in you, dependent on you. And in you also, unless you have that right understanding, you will not have the continuity of right feeling. So you cannot express it to me anyway. Termination is termination has a negative sense. Completion has a positive sense. Completion means you have achieved what has to be achieved. So it is not termination, it is the continuation. When you have the right feeling, for everyone, it will have the continuity or it will be terminated. Continuity, yeah. In fact, very interesting, everything that is right has a continuity, no termination. What is right has a continuity. Yes. All these diagrams, you have this in UHV-2, right? But the essence of it is that the physical facility, the sensation cannot be the source of continuous happiness. Getting feeling from others cannot be the source of continuous happiness. What can be the source of continuous happiness is your right understanding and right feeling and right thought. And both this right understanding has to take place in the self, the right feeling and right thought has to take place in the self. And in order to do that, ultimately you have to be centered at the place of pure observer, right? That is ultimately where we have to be placed. From there I look down upon my assumption, my sanskar, evaluate them, set them in order. From there I look at my feelings, my thought, my expectation, evaluate them and set them in order. If I do that, then I will always be in harmony within and a state of happiness within. That is the source of continuous happiness. So that is the essence of what we have been talking about till now. So reflect over this till tomorrow morning, and if there are any questions, we will take up tomorrow. Yes. Umeshji, we have some follow-up session now.
No. So thank you very much, Ganeshji, for that very insightful session we had today. So we will have the meeting of core SRM team today after this meeting, after a 10 minutes of bio break. And the FAQ session may not be there. So others can leave. Here. Venue for the meeting is this hall itself. So core SRM team can be here for the meeting and others can leave. And let's assemble back tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m.